I started in about February 2019, and I used a lot of the premise from Navy days and try to incorporate a lot of woodwork, as I love just the feel and texture of it. If you notice on the ceiling, I put all cedar, and then I also took and put hardwood flooring against all the walls, and that brought more of a feel and more insulation into the build. I didn't want to go any enclosed cabinets because of the simple fact of I didn't want the clutter, or just keep it wide open, more or less. I did use the window, but it's sealed off, so it's not intrusive to any kind of food and heat and things like that, but that organizes things really well. What I did also was I went to 1913 Perfection kerosene heater. The company was in business, I think, up until 1955. And it was a really good purchase. It'll heat the whole bus in 20-degree temperature in about 10 minutes. So, yeah, 1913 still works like a champ. I did enclose the kitchen with an old cedar picket fence, again carrying the woodwork, and also covering the top of the kitchen with cedar that we cut down from a tree that had fallen off, along with tile as a backsplash. And I didn't necessarily want the center hallway all the way down. That's why you see the L shape of the kitchen, and putting the hallway on the other side. So if I'm traveling with my granddaughter or daughters or children, they can stay up here. I still have a separate room. So it's a kind of nice, and even breaking apart when you're entertaining, yeah, instead of seeing that whole thoroughfare. I would say buying the bus and what you're seeing here today is right around the $6,000 range. The reason for that is I repurposed probably 85% of the material. Cedar picket fence for the kitchen countertop front, a tree that was laying in the backyard. The wood flooring you see on the walls and also on the floor was from a flooring company that was throwing it away. It was a contractor who had ordered a couple extra bundles. It was sitting in the trash. All the wood around the dash and things, that was from a cabinet company. I didn't go in there to ask if they had free wood. I went in there to ask if they had a contact to get it a little cheaper than your Home Depot or Lowe's. While I'm standing there, the owner says, well, we just had a $60,000 kitchen remodel in Naughty Alder. All our scraps are in the dumpster. If you want them, take them. So that's all free. That includes the cedar you see on the ceiling. And so you don't, was I told no more times than yes? Oh, sure I was. I would drive around town, see a construction site. Here's an electrical box. Are you throwing it away? You want it? Take it. And then it became part of the community where people were asking, are you using it for the bus? Yep. And they became interested in it. So I was having people, and that's a good thing about small communities, they were coming together and actually swinging by. An electrician came by to make sure I wasn't doing anything stupid with electrical. And he spent 2-3 days there because it was fun. It was a break from the routine. So again, don't be afraid to ask questions, or the proverbial box, you get out of it. You go to construction sites, you always see that pile. Underneath the hardwood flooring is 3/4 marine grade plywood. I got that for half price because the fork truck had damaged one side of the tongue and groove. So again, don't be afraid. He could have said no, full price, or what he did was, look, I have to get rid of it because no contractor would want it. And I'm like, I'm putting it in a bus, I'm good. So that portion was actually cut out. So I got very good plywood at just over $10 a sheet. So normally that plywood's $30. So the cost savings around, and with the heater, $60 at an antique store. You know, the 2-burner wood stove came out of a pickup bed camper that was laying in somebody's yard. Again, you ask questions. Are you using it? See what you come up with. Be ready to hear a no, but again, if you get one yes out of 10 no's, you win. Okay, as far as the living room, I went an old captain's chair from a transportation company, and it's all rigged with seat belts, so if there's any minor child and still in the seat belt, anything like that, I have plenty of safe passage for them. And also I went with a little chase couch from Amazon. It's just a nice feature. It's nice, relaxing, and comfortable to sit down on and relax. And like I said, we can still entertain 4 people in here, or a little bit more depending on if I pull out another chair. So, all right, on the bathroom side, since I went this large wall, I moved the shower into the center for maximum height because I did not raise the roof of the bus. It's all cedar lined, completely sealed, and works fantastic. 12-inch rain shower head, cuts down on water usage, and it just feels nice to be able to do that. Vanity sink, and I put the composting toilet on the wheel well, and that's all lined with tile as a back interior, so that works really well. So I put my composting toilet in a tree trunk. Yeah, you had to build an enclosure, and that's all fine. So I was looking online what other people had done for an enclosure, and I looked over at my neighbor's yard, and he had a 6-foot section of a hollow tree trunk that was off a cottonwood tree that had fallen down years before. Whole thing was hollow. He thought I was nuts when I said I want a 2-foot section of it. And he asked me why, and I said, well, my toilet enclosure. But it works. It looks kind of neat. And then it keeps on with that rustic appearance, and I didn't have to build anything. I had to make sure I cut it a little bit flat, but that's what tape's for. All right, on the bedroom, I did raise the bed up, and what you can see is an old dresser, but then again, plenty of storage underneath the bed. That's divided in half, so I can get to the other half from the back entry door of the bus, and I use that as a garage. Also under here on the back section is a 100-gallon water tank for fresh water. So that's plenty of water for 2-3 weeks out in the country without needing to replenish anything. So also what you'll see up here is actually I use a gutter downspout. And in each room there's a floor register. So I have 3 of those, one here, bathroom, and the kitchen. And right in that corner there's a portable AC unit. So I can run the AC unit and I can channel cold air into any room that I really want. And that with a large dog, that's kind of key sometimes. So it'll keep it nice and cool and kind of act like installed ductwork. So, for relatively inexpensive in material. So. Well, the inspiration was actually about 15 years ago. I had seen a bus conversion going down the interstate. I thought it was a really great idea. My late wife at the time had one word, and she said no. So after looking at them for a few years and she became warm to the idea, we actually started planning it. And raising kids, there was never, that was a want, not a need. So we put that on the shelf. I lost her almost 4 years ago. So in a lot of ways, I think the bus took on more than just a build. Probably in about 4 years, I'm looking at moving away from sticks and bricks and actually going full time, because the community out here really is fantastic. The people, the atmosphere, the camaraderie. People, it's still to the point where everybody drops everything just to help out your fellow man. It doesn't matter your walk of life, your history. Everybody's out here just fantastic. All right, on the solar, I have a 3,000 watt inverter and a battery charger that I can charge the batteries quickly with a generator. And then I have a breaker panel with the main, the inverter, and the charger, and I separated the bus into 4 separate breakers depending on where in the room they are. Under here is the entire battery backup. And I have 12 batteries, 480 amp hours per piece, so on a full charge, I do pretty well. If there is any questions or anything, I am on Facebook, Lars Paulson. You can send me a message in Messenger. I love to get back and provide any additional photos or any insight or any recommendation. We're a community, let's stay together and share ideas.